Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Gwyneth. I am a Reiki master and a drugless practitioner. I enjoy using natural healing concepts connected with universal life force energy to bring healing to individuals. But today I want to talk about a childhood memory. This morning I woke up thinking about a show I used to watch as a child called Romper Room. Some of you might be familiar with it, some may not. I'm sure you could probably Google it or look it up on YouTube and they might have some information about it. But the show Romper Room was an important part of my childhood and was something that I enjoyed watching on a daily basis. Now, anyone who knows me well knows that I absolutely love television. I love television, I love movies. I have from a child on up to now. I enjoy older films and older TV shows, comedy, drama, action, you name it. I even kid around sometimes and call myself the cable girl. But anyways, back to the subject. I was thinking about how Romper Room had such a positive effect on me and probably many others during the time that it was on air. Because Miss Nancy had a certain character and a pleasing approach to her with children. She was good with children. And she had a way to make everybody feel important. It was a little part of the show, towards the end of the show, after you were singing songs and playing and learning with her. On the end of the show, she had this looking glass, and it was like a clear, big old magnifying glass. She would hold it in front of the screen, and she would say, a little phrase, and I wrote it down. Let me just look for it in my notes because I want to read the little phrase that came with it. So she would hold up the looking glass and she would say, "Romper, bumper, stumper, boo. Tell me, tell me, tell me true, magic mirror. Did all my friends have fun at play today?" And she would acknowledge the children in the studio and she would call out their names and they would put the camera on them and they would show different kids and they would be smiling, and then she would look into the camera at home to everybody and she would start calling out names, and your parents could write into the show and send the children in your households names, and that she would randomly call out different ones, so you never knew, but out of the blue she would call your name, and I see Sarah and Brian and John, and I see Natalie, and she would call out these names, and if your name got called, wow, you just felt special. You felt important, because Miss Nancy sees me through the television. She can see me. And let's be honest, we all want to be seen and heard and acknowledged. We want that importance. We want that significance. And it does something so positive for us when we're acknowledged, when we're heard, and when we're seen. We fight for that freedom of speech. And when somebody hears us, it's not that they have to agree with us, but it's that they heard us or they understand our side, or sometimes they don't understand, but they gave us the floor to hear what we're saying or what we thought. And that means something. And even now in this day, not just for a child, but for an adult to hear, to be heard, to be seen, to be acknowledged. And we need to do something about that, because our future children need to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. Some of us adults need to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. And I don't even know if Miss Nancy knew the power of what she was doing, because I'm a parent and it's very important to me to acknowledge my children, to hear them, to see them, to give them that compassion, to hug them, to express myself, and to express the goodness in them. And it makes a difference in a child's life, in a person's life, when they grow up with those things, when somebody is speaking positive attributes over them. If you're a parent Or even if you're not a parent, a lot of times choosing a child's name is very important. You get the books, you look up online, you want to find out, what does this name mean? What is the significance of this name? And we want to name our children, not all of us, but many of us want to name our children names that have these powerful or beautiful attributes. And a lot of times, if you just take time to acknowledge that, you realize that person with that name, that those attributes that that name means, that person takes on those characteristics. And that's a way that we can see how the word is powerful when we speak over these people. Think about your name, look it up, maybe some of you, and see what it means and see if you identify with any of those things. Television was very important to me and still is to this day because it gives us a peek at someone else's life, at somebody else's dream, at somebody else's creative power, maybe situations that we hadn't been privy to or had experienced before. It opens us up to see a whole new world because we realize that this is somebody else's life. And if it's not somebody else's life, it's somebody else's imagination or dream. And we see different things that widen our knowledge and our views of the world. Television is powerful. These videos are powerful. We watch these videos, the social media and stuff like that. Yeah, there's some negative stuff out there, but there's some positive things. But it's the balance of the positive and negative that put us in a good place. We need a little bit of both to help keep us balanced. So I'm looking around on my notes because I don't want to forget anything. Because when these thoughts came to me this morning, it's always when I'm getting ready in the morning, these things come to me. And it was just so powerful because a lot of us are looking to do something. What should I do? What is my purpose? How can I help? Or we blog about things that we want to help. We blog about things that get on our nerves and stuff. But what do we do to give back? Some of us are giving back. Some of us are putting our 2 cents in. Some of us are putting our feet in the water, but some of us are just talking about it. Some of us are just ignoring it and expecting somebody else to fix things. But if we take small steps, and this is a small step that all of us can take, to encourage somebody else, to enrich somebody else, to speak positive things over them, to let them know, I see you. I see you, sis. I see you, brother. I see that talent in you. I see that gift in you. Acknowledge it and bring it out. Maybe somebody has a gift with the way they put their fashion together. And you think, well, what is that going to do? It builds self-esteem. I like the way you put your outfits together. You just have a way with it, Maybe that's something that a business they could start or something like that. It's just acknowledging, causing them to feel special and important. I see your talent in fashion. Maybe it's a way, they have a way with words. I see the way you put your words together. I love the way you express yourself. I love the drawings that you do. You have a talent in the way you put that makeup on or your hair or something like that. Or, I love the love for knowledge that you have, the books that you read and how you interpret the stories back to people. Let's get out there and start encouraging people, and let's start saying great things and seeing them. Let's start holding up our looking glass, as Miss Nancy did, and say, I see the positivity in you. I see the greatness in you. I see the imagination in you. I love the way you turn a negative situation into a positive. I love that you are not afraid to be vulnerable, because vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. When I'm able to show who I am and how I am and express my emotions and know there's nothing wrong with it, there's power there. So I'm just giving you a little something to chew on or to muse on this morning, to think about. Maybe something that you never thought of. Romper Room was a development program for children to build self-esteem in a positive light. We need to give that to our children, to our community, to our neighbors, to our cousins, to our friends. We need to help out with that situation so we can have a better world, because these kids are going to be in control one day. But we need to give them substance, because if they don't have substance, where are we going to be? Let's stop focusing on the negative. Let's get back to the positive. Let's create some positive life stories. Let's teach our children how to hold on to their imagination. Imagination is not just something for a child, it's also for adults. And the adults that lack imagination, or the ability to connect with their imagination, they have problems manifesting things. They have problems seeing the positive when there's a negative going on. But when we've been taught, some of us have been taught from scripture and from Bible verses and stuff, to speak the things of not as though they were so. I'm paraphrasing. But you get the concept, you get the attitude, or behind that, the power behind that. I'm going to see the positive, not the negative. I'm not going to focus on it. And whatever I focus on, that which I focus on, I will manifest. That which I focus on, I will manifest. If I focus on the positive, if I look for the light, if I look for the silver lining, and also if I speak positive, if I encourage, if I enrich others, that will come back to me. Maybe not from the person that I'm expecting to get that acknowledgement from, but it will come back to me, and somebody will see me. They will see those gifts and talents in me. Let's be on that positive spectrum. Don't be jealous of other people and their gifts. Don't be jealous because they're able to see, that they're intuitive, that they're talented, that they're a healer, that they're good with their words, that they're book smart, that they know how to apply knowledge. Let's give them the thanks. Let's give them the praise that we see that and we appreciate that. Because if you would see the world and see that we are all interconnected, and we're all here to help each other and to assist each other, then we would be able to blot out that jealousy and that greed. I also want to talk about commonality. Commonality is a word that is sacred in the spiritual community. We look for the commonality. Spirit looks for the commonality of the things that we have in common that connect us together. Maybe we grew up on the same kind of way, whether that be negative or positive. Maybe we belong to a certain group or affiliation, a sorority, a spiritual group, a learning group, a writing group. We express certain gifts or common interests together, a book club. Something on that kind of spectrum. We have common likes, the way we view the world, maybe the way we wear our makeup, or the style of clothing that we have, or how we raise our children, our beliefs about family, the commonality. Those things connect us together. When Miss Nancy had that looking glass, she was connecting us together. They're saying, here, these children are on television, but you're at home, but we are connected. We still are one. If I want to get scripture with you and go back to the Bible, I say, God says, I am the tree and you are the branches. I am the tree. I am the vine and you are the branches. We are all interconnected together. We are in this oneness together. You have certain beautiful things in you that I might not have. But when you share them with me and I share with you what I have, we come together and we meet together in a place of togetherness. And that's a powerful, beautiful thing. So I just want to review over a couple of things I said. I talked about romper room. I talked about my childhood nostalgic moment. I talked about television, why I enjoy television, because it allows me to look at somebody else's life in a place that I might not experience or be privy to or have around me. And I'm also seeing somebody else's creative power, that writer, that director that put that together. I'm expressing myself and seeing somebody else expressing their self in another way. I'm hearing someone else's story. And I need to see something more than just my story, because this world is vast and we need to share with one another. And when we share and when we hear each other's stories, we understand how to communicate, which is something that this world is lacking. Many people lack the ability to communicate with one another and to express themselves to one another. They feel like nobody wants to hear them, and we need to hear these people. We need to hear their hearts. We need to hear their minds. Then we can heal. Then we can raise our vibration. Then we can be responsible for our energy. This is just my thoughts, but they might mean something to you. You might get something out of it. I hope that you do. You might think of a childhood memory of your own, or a current memory, or this might register something or cause something to set off in you that you might want to get out there and help and to assist and to give and not just always take. What are you going to give to this world? Your gifts, your talents, your praise, your acknowledgement, your importance, your wisdom. Be willing to give something. See, those are simple things that are healing as well. When I show that love, when I give that love, when I give that acceptance, that appreciation, those things heal as well. All things heal. So if you enjoyed this piece, please like, share with somebody else. I hope that it inspired somebody. Feel free to check out my other videos. I have other videos on there, some where I'm talking, some with healing. Most of them are healing videos, and where I'm actually sharing some energy with you. But I'd be happy for you to join, like and share and follow me. And I'm going to encourage myself to get out there and make more videos and more content. But just for today, I have this video for you. And I just want to tell you, thank you for watching my video. I appreciate you. Stand in your light and have a very blessed day, night, evening, whenever you're seeing this video and watching it. Share it with somebody else, or just encourage somebody else.